Hey folks, it's time for an episode of Truck and Trailer Tuesday on Tractor Time with Tim. Yeah, it's been a while, but that's because we've been busy doing other things, right? Several months ago now, we visited with Trooper Hoover at the Scale House at the Indiana-Illinois state line on I-70. Lots of informative videos there. If you haven't seen them, take a look at the Truck and Trailer Tuesday playlist. You'll get an overview of just a lot of different facts about commercial trucks, private trucks and trailer, tie downs, very useful information. We thank Trooper Hoover for taking the time to go through that with us. I think we're going to have him up to our house at some point, maybe later in the summer and the fall. Now, one of the episodes with Trooper Hoover, he did an inspection of our truck and our trailer, and that was a little embarrassing to me. He found several things on our trailer that just weren't perfect. Maybe good enough, maybe not, but they certainly weren't perfect, and they needed to have some review. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. If you haven't seen the earlier inspection, it might be worth your time to stop right now, go look at that episode, the link's in the description, and then come back and watch what we go through here in this one. Okay, again, this is our ultimate tilt trailer from DK Trailers. I really think this name is underselling this trailer. This is a full dump trailer. Brad at dktrailers.com uses this name Ultimate Tilt for the regular tilt trailers as well as the car hauler dump trailer combos that he calls them. And that's what this is. This is a car hauler that's also a dump trailer, a very rare combination in the industry. I only found a couple of places that would make one for me, and both of them were custom. So Brad at dktrailers.com, a great place to go get a very custom, unique trailer. All kinds of pictures of all kinds of examples on his website. Again, go check it out, dktrailers.com. Okay, well, what's wrong with this trailer? There were a few things that Trooper Hoover pointed out. The biggest one was this breakaway box. It's not in very good shape. Okay, so my old breakaway box, it just looks quite worn, and it's really only 2 or 3 years old. This was white all on top. This was a thin layer of plastic over the test button, and it just totally came apart. So we're going to take this breakaway box off and replace it with a new one. Tried to find one online that was exactly the same size and shape, but I was hoping to find one with a black cover that would cover all of this and hide some of this. And actually the picture that I found online of the one I bought did show a black top on it, but that's not what I got. What I got looks very much like the old one. Still has the test button. This is pretty much what the old one looked like. The only difference is that the connectors are not in the same place. So I can't just replace the bolts and put it down. I'm a little disappointed in that. I kind of wanted that black cover because I didn't see any reason to have these buttons exposed. I wanted to be able to flip that up, see if it's working, flip it back down so that the sun doesn't wear on it like it did this one. But it looks like I've got the same thing. This breakaway box was fine. The battery was still good. There was no issue with its functionality other than this cover. And I don't like it when a cover or something like, just a small piece renders the whole thing useless. Now that test button broke through, water got in there and destroyed the insides. So that's actually what happened in the week or so leading up to my visit with Trooper Hoover. I had seen the test button had, become exposed. I operated it and it still worked. I thought, well, maybe that's not a big deal. And then the very morning that I was going to visit Trooper Hoover, I tested it again and uh-oh. So, that's always the case. When you really need something to work, that's when it fails. I wish the new one had this exact same mount. I could not find this brand. And now we've got it out of there. Now these butt connectors had heat shrink, it looks like, on them. And that's exactly what we'll want to do. This is definitely watertight, and that's exactly what you need in this scenario. So I'm just going to put the bolts in there for now, set it in here, and that'll help me determine where I need a new hole over here on this side. Okay, I'll try to hold this relatively flat. I mean, this isn't rocket science. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just something I'm going to have to look at, and I hate for it to be really crooked. Put the center punch the best I can right in there. There we go. Okay, I'll use a little cutting oil. Okay, I'm going to insert the bolts from the bottom. I've put a big flat washer on them to make sure that they don't go through that 5/16 hole that was already there. I've got these lock nuts. These lock nuts are not stainless. They're zinc lock nuts because I cheaped out. The stainless lock nuts at Menards were 49 cents each. For $6, I got this selection of 150 just regular zinc coated lock nuts. And I decided I wanted some lock nuts around just because there's a lot of times I need them and I don't have a selection of them, so I just went ahead and got this. Well, so much for my selection of 150 lock nuts. There are all the lock nuts. Where's Christy when I need her? Okay, what was I doing? Oh, I was putting in these bolts. Now, if I spill this whole box of washers again, I'm just going to quit for the day. I've got some handy dandy electrical connectors here. So these blue ones have 1/4 inch openings. That's a bigger opening, but the 1/4 inch is all I need. Okay, now I've got both of my ground wires on. Now I'm ready to take that bolt. The reds are supposed to be from 22 to 16, and this is a pretty small blue wire up here. Our blue wire is not that small, but 16 is probably what it is. I should have cut that wire off some, but it's kind of nice to have the extra wire to play with. I'll zip tie it under there somewhere. You know, for many years we've always said that duct tape and baling wire fixes everything. At least that's what we would say on the farm. Well, I actually think that zip ties are replacing at least the baling wire portion, maybe even the duct tape portion, for a lot of applications. Now, granted, there's some things zip ties aren't strong enough to hold, but they sure help. Okay, we'll test this in a little while. Meanwhile, let's get on with a couple of the other items that we need to fix. Now let's look at this one a little bit. This cord has come out of there so you can actually see the individual wires. Now Trooper Hoover said this technically wasn't a violation, but he also said in another context that having things looking clean and well maintained always works in your favor if you're encountered by a trooper and they're doing an inspection. So something like this might make a trooper say, if he doesn't take care of this, I wonder what else he doesn't take care of. Might make him look a little bit closer. I think this is an easy fix, at least I expect it to be. I think I can just shove that right on up in there. Yeah, very nice. And tighten this down good. Yeah, so that makes a much nicer connection there. It just looks finished. That one's easy enough. There's one that I don't know if we're gonna be able to tackle in this episode. I've always had my emergency breakaway system connected right into this hook for the safety chain. Trooper Hoover says that is not valid. So I need to come up with a way to connect this to the truck independently of the safety chain. But right now I don't have a good answer for that, so we may have to come back to that one. By the way, I didn't replace the switch here for the breakaway system. I used the old one. We'll test this all in a little bit. Okay, here's one that seemed to have a lot of the commenters all stirred up. Trooper Hoover touched this washer and pointed out that it wasn't quite tight. Now, a lot of the commenters said, hey, that washer can be moved. No, it could not be moved. It is not movable. But I admit it is not totally tight. It is not completely collapsed. I tightened it as tight as I could tighten it without any other tools. I didn't have a wrench large enough for this nut. This is 1 7/8 inches. So I went out and bought a very large adjustable. Well, not very large. This is an 18-inch adjustable. I saw a 24-inch the same day at another store. I wish I'd have got it. So I'm going to put this in the vise right here to see if I can hold the ball that way. I'm not absolutely positive this is going to work. I'm going to take some of this WD-40 Specialist Rust Release Penetrant spray and shoot in around that washer where you saw that it was loose, and then a little bit here at the top too. It says it's fast acting. I think this is more of a penetrating oil, maybe even than the original formula WD-40. I think all I had was a pipe wrench, or maybe I had a pair of water pump pliers. Is really all I had to try to tighten this. We're getting there, but it's taxing this little vise, isn't it? It's down now. I'll give you a look here in a second, but I'll see if I can put any more on it. I don't think I can put any more on it with this little vise. The washer is flat down now. I cranked it about one more round. That takes care of that. That was easy enough, once I had the right wrench. Okay, so there's a charging light right here. I think you can see it from there. That light's on now, but I've had a little bit of difficulty getting connection, and it's not the first time that I've had this challenge. This 7-pin connector just doesn't get great connectivity on this truck. I think it has to do with just some corrosion and stuff. So I'm going to use some of this WD-40 Specialist electrical contact cleaner right here, both in this connector here, as well as on the contacts in there. And hopefully when I plug that in, yeah, the charging light comes on a lot better. I'm going to pull it out and plug it in again, just to make sure that we can get good connection. Okay, it seems to be coming on reliably now. Even if I wiggle it a little bit, yeah, it's not going off. When we were at the Work Truck Show last spring, I believe there was a YouTuber there showing a different type of connector, an adapter that you could use for these 7-pin connectors. But you know, given their location, especially this one's way under the truck, they are going to take a lot of corrosion. They're going to get a lot of salt. So this WD-40 Specialist electrical contact cleaner is a good item to use on this particular location. Let's see if we can drive the trailer up. I'm going to get it out in the yard a little bit, or out on the driveway, and then I'm going to pull this brake and see if it actually locks the rear wheels. Okay, it's time for the test. And Christy, I asked you to come out and help us. So while I'm driving at 50 miles an hour, you're going to sit right here.
What?
And you're going to pull that cord right there. Pull the rip cord.
This thing?
And see what happens. Or should I be going 70 miles an hour? How fast do you think I should be going, guys?
70 would be better, yeah. That way, just when the trailer runs over me,
yeah,
it won't hurt as bad.
I think you should lift your feet, Christy.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think maybe we ought to try this just right here.
Thank you, I appreciate
instead
that.
of 70 miles an hour. Yeah, actually, you don't look very comfortable.
No, there's not enough bumper space, really, for me.
Okay. So I pulled the trailer out here. It's pulling fine right now, but we want to pull this out, and I don't think you can pull it by hand. I took this little screwdriver and pried in there.
Oh, okay.
Now you should be able to pull it the rest of the way out. Ouch.
Yeah, and an O-ring came off.
A little O-ring came off, didn't it? It's kind of busted, that little O-ring was.
Oops.
Maybe it'll fit back on there. Just something else to get full of water and not work in the long term.
Wasn't this one of the things that Trooper Hoover got on you about?
That's the whole point of this whole episode, and that's why you haven't been out here, is because I didn't need you telling me all the stuff that didn't work.
I can go back in the house now.
Well, this is the test. It's supposed to be fixed now. Okay. So we've pulled that thing out, and I'll try to take off, and we'll see if it skids the tire.
Okay, let's see.
And then we'll stick this back in. We'll try it both ways. We'll stick this back in, and it should let us go again.
Okay.
Only this one wheel is dragging here, but the rest of them have the brakes applied. They're auto adjust brakes, but they're performing a little different.
Dragging its feet. Let me plug that thing back in. You stay right there. Hold on just a minute. Did you hear it?
I heard something.
It actually clicked. Now watch me go. What do you think?
I think it looks fixed.
Okay, I think that covers everything except for connecting the little cable to the truck. I'm gonna have to defer that. I'm not sure I have a good solution for that yet, but I think Trooper Hoover's gonna be happy with me. And if he comments on this video, I'll pin it at the top so that you guys can see what he has to say. It's been a while since our last Truck and Trailer Tuesday, and who knows, it may be a while before our next one. But meanwhile, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. 150. I can't go purely by size because the 1/4 inch, there are 2 different threads. Look at that. I am proud, proud, proud. I haven't counted, but I bet you they're all there.